and we could always work through it and get you back on your feet. So the very first thing that we would all do is do that checklist to see if she's not in any
Everybody, what's up? Welcome.
And, any facilities that they may have placed her on a psychiatric hold or anything like that, or check the jails, make sure that she's nowhere to be found. Once we do that, and then we want to be able to communicate with the last person who saw her alive. And from what I understand, there was an ex-boyfriend who, although they were ex at the time of this flight, they were still going to go and continue with these travel arrangements that were made when they were still dating. And so I would love to speak with that individual. And if I can't speak to that individual because you're out of state or whatever the case may be, then I would ask that local police department in that jurisdiction to conduct that interview for me to get it firsthand, because doing an interview of this magnitude, of this importance over the phone is not going to cut it. So we will need somebody to do this in person and figure out what's happening, because then we'll be able to kind of flesh out any details that are relevant versus irrelevant, and maybe this person had nothing to do with it, or maybe he did. So start there. Start where the last person who saw her spoke to her alive and had, contact, and then start speaking to anybody that may have had contact days prior. One of the things I did ask the family is to go back to her apartment, wherever she may have lived, and see if there's any clues or any signs. So look for any of that, because sometimes if somebody did leave because they were despondent, or this is a voluntary thing, sometimes they'll leave what we call a Dear John letter, right, or a Dear Jane letter, explaining the circumstances. So I'm not sure if that was done or not, but that was something that I recommended. And so those are the beginning stages. And then obviously with the social media, how powerful social media can be, always getting out the flyer with the information out there as soon as possible. And if we have the ability to ping her phone and figure out the location, sometimes that is a tool that we can use, a resource that we can use, but not always, because sometimes those phones are turned off and then we're back to square one. So those are some of the things that we do in the very first critical 72 hours to try to get, because after 72 hours, it's like anything else. You may have heard that before. 72 hours is key, not only in any investigation, but especially with homicides and missing persons.
Kobayashi, Hannah.
So we want to go back to that footage to see if we could determine the pathway she took, because then we could then build on those surveillance footage. Maybe we'll find another camera that captured something else, and maybe we'll find the people she was with.
She was alone with her luggage and a good afternoon.
Hold on.
Donald,
Here we go, guys.
to update us on this disappearance of Hannah Kobayashi.
30 seconds, Jim?
Sure, whatever you want.
30 seconds.
Okay, he's just been given a 30-second cue by somebody, so we're going to wait for him for a couple of seconds. But it's really a lot of people concerned about it.
A lot of people concerned about this. Just today, we heard from Hannah Kobayashi's family. They announced that they were taking down the Facebook page that they had posted, asking for help, looking for her. That was an announcement today. They said they had been receiving a lot of negative comments, so they removed that Facebook. Also, you and I were talking about the fact that her father took his own life. Was it a week or two ago?
Last week. Yeah.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today with us. I'm
Lord,
joined
no
here
problem.
today by Assistant Chief Chow, Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton, and Lieutenant Oldfield from our Missing Persons Unit. I wanted to provide you an update on the ongoing search for 30-year-old Hannah Kobayashi, who was reported missing last month. As the family is aware, late yesterday, after traveling to the U.S.-Mexico border, we reviewed video surveillance from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which clearly shows Kobayashi crossing the United States border on foot into Mexico. She was alone with her luggage and appeared unharmed. At this time, Kobayashi's case has been classified as a voluntary missing person. I know over the last few days, there have been several questions raised surrounding her flight to New York. Our investigation, corroborated by video evidence, clearly shows Hannah at LAX appearing unharmed after arriving from Maui on November 8th of this year. For unknown reasons, she decided not to board her pre-scheduled flight to New York that same day. From November 8th to 11th, video footage and still imagery showed Hannah at various locations around Los Angeles. This information was subsequently verified by LAPD detectives. While she did check her bag through to New York, she requested her bag be sent to her at LAX, where we have surveillance footage of her retrieving it from the baggage carousel on November 11th. LAPD Missing Persons Unit has conducted extensive witness interviews, reviewed video surveillance, and collaborated with local and federal law enforcement agencies on this case. To date, the investigation has not uncovered any evidence that Kobayashi is being trafficked or is the victim of foul play. She is also not a suspect in any criminal activity. Additionally, the investigators noted that before departing Maui, Kobayashi expressed the desire to step away from modern connectivity. Our priority is ensuring Ms. Kobayashi's safety and well-being, and we urge Ms. Kobayashi to contact her family, law enforcement, or personnel at the U.S. Embassy to let us know that she is safe. She has a right to her privacy, and we respect her choices, but we also understand that the concern her loved ones feel for her. A simple message could reassure those who care about her. While the LAPD investigation will not continue into Mexico, if anyone has credible information about Hannah's whereabouts, please contact local law enforcement. If Kobayashi returns to the United States, law enforcement will be notified. The missing person case will remain active in the missing and unidentified persons system until her safety is confirmed by law enforcement. Anyone with additional information regarding this case may contact the Los Angeles Police Department at 877-LAPD-24-7 or 877-527-3247. Anonymous tips can also be submitted to Los Angeles Regional Crime Stoppers at www.lacrimestoppers.org. Let me open it up now if you have any questions. If I cannot answer them, if the detail is such, I will refer it to one of my partners here.
Safe to say that no crime has been committed then, no evidence of that?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Safe to say that no crime has been committed, there is no evidence of it?
At this point, we have not been able to determine any crime has been committed.
Chief, given that there's no reason then for any law enforcement agency to detain or arrest her at all at this point.
That's correct.
Is there any indication from her family that there were arguments, disagreements, problems prior to her leaving Hawaii and during a period of a month where she's been sort of seen, not seen?
Yeah, I mean, it's no indication that there would be anything to cause this to happen in this fashion, for her to go off. But like any family situation, you know, who knows what the dynamics are.
How did you learn that she had a desire to disconnect from modern technology? How did you learn that piece of information?
Yeah, let me address that to Lieutenant Oldfield, if you would, Doug.
LT, your first and last name, please.
Douglas Oldfield, Douglas, last name Oldfield, Oldfield. I'm the officer in charge of the Special Enforcement Section out of Detective Support and Vice Division, which handles the missing person unit.
Good question.
Right, so for the question of whether she wanted to disconnect, by looking at her past social media, we then saw indications that there were some desires or posts that would be consistent in somebody who would have the desire to disconnect from their phone.
There you go.
I think it's not something that I have available right now. It's just that
She doesn't want to be
part
found.
of the investigation. Are we 100% right on
crazy.
that?
I mean,
we can't say, right? That we just know that she did not have her phone after she left LAX, right around 1800 to 1900. We know she doesn't have her phone on her. For what reason? We can't say for sure.
How did she get from LA to the U.S.-Mexico border? Do you have any idea?
Yes. So she traveled through the MTA. She then made it to Union Station. At Union Station, she used her passport and cash to purchase a ticket to get to the border, and she then crossed the border.
Have you seen the video of the border? How would you
Yes.
describe or characterize how she appeared to be?
She appeared fine.
No.
She was with nobody else. I have nothing additional, but I have observed the video, yes.
I spoke with Hannah's sister earlier today. She says the family disagrees with law enforcement's assessment.
ooh.
What do you say to them?
Well, fantastic.
That's what I'm going to tell you. The family
Alan
disagrees
Hamilton,
with law
the Chief of
enforcement?
Detectives for the LAPD. We understand that there are concerns on behalf of family and friends. We've been very transparent with the family to this point. We have had daily communication and contact with family members, and we've given all the information that we can provide in terms of what our investigation has entailed, what the efforts have been on behalf of the LAPD and other partner law enforcement agencies. We've put a lot of resources into this investigation. So just to be clear to the public, the LAPD has taken this report seriously from the moment that we received it, and we have expended a lot of resources to include a trip this past weekend to the U.S.-Mexico border to collaborate with our partners there. So this is an investigation where we've done a lot of things face-to-face with our partners, and we've done we've gone to extraordinary measures in terms of our technological investigations in this case. We've really left no stone unturned, and it's led us to this conclusion and the information that the chief is providing today.
Alan, I don't know whether you or the lieutenant wants to run, but is there anything in the information you gained from previous messages, things like that, which mentioned a name of a person, a group, or something that might want to assist her in disconnecting from society? Is this an individual desire, or does she express some kind of a knowledge or an awareness of a certain type of pattern of social, organization she might want to join somewhere in Mexico?
Generalized individual desire, we have no information that she's working with anyone else.
You guys have had a couple of these cases recently, unfortunately, where women have decided to just, make a change or disappear on their own. Just any words you would say to someone thinking about this, or just encourage them, I guess? You guys take all these cases so seriously. It requires a lot of manpower.
A tremendous amount of manpower, yeah. Yeah, a lot of personnel involved in any major investigation like this, and in order to try and protect those that are in many cases very vulnerable. My ask would be to anybody considering doing this, think about the people that you're leaving behind, your loved ones who are going to be worried sick about you, the number of people, including law enforcement and other partners who are going to be looking for you, which then potentially takes them away from other work that is also critically important. So there's a lot other than somebody just deciding that they want to leave and disconnect. Consider those that are behind you and those that will be impacted by your actions.
Obviously, your heart goes out to the family. They're worried about the
Absolutely.
father. And of course, we know that the father is gone as well. So
Right.
this is a family that's faced a lot of tragedy.
Right.
What would you say to them, Chief?
I'm very sorry to the family for all that they've been through throughout this ordeal. We're very sorry for their loss. And I don't know that words can express, the feelings that they're going through during this very difficult time. But there's a lot of people very much in support of what they're going through.
In essence, Chief, this is back on the family at this point. They and the daughter basically have got to settle this between them.
Yeah, I mean, we've basically done everything we can do at this point. She's left the nation, left the country, and in another nation now. So, as I mentioned in the earlier comments, that if she comes back into the U.S., law enforcement will be notified of that, and try and do whatever we can if there's a need to at that time.
Mexican authorities, though, have a certain degree of latitude way beyond what forces here in the United States might have. Have you advised them of the situation, filled them in as much as you can? Take action on their own, whatever that might decide to do.
Yeah, I haven't had any interaction. I don't know if, no, nothing, no.
And what day did she cross over, and roughly what time was it?
Oh, I can.
Yeah, please.
November 12th at 12:13 p.m. She walked through the tunnel that leads to Mexico.
Wow. Well, there you have it.
Yeah, she walked through so it's the San Ysidro port of entry, and she walked through the tunnel that leads to Mexico, and that was at 12:13 on the 12th. 12:13 p.m.
What about the text messages that she sent to her family before I went silent? It sounded as though she was in distress. Can you speak to her state of mind and what indication that gave to you?
Yeah, we want me to address it?
Yeah, if you would.
So we can't speak to her state of mind. We are aware there have been some communications prior. We are aware of that communication, and we cannot necessarily interpret. I think some of the communication can be interpreted a number of different ways. So at this time, we're not able to interpret those communications without having Hannah present to explain, how she felt when she sent them and what the specific meanings were for those messages.
Let's do one more question. Hannah was seen with an unknown person at Metro Station near the Arena. Any idea?
Yeah, the
who
unknown
that
person. What's up with that?
So the question was about the individual that she was identified traveling with on the Metro. We have identified that individual. That individual was cooperative in the investigation. That individual cooperated by allowing himself to be interviewed with his attorney present and family members. He gave a full disclosure of the entire sequence of events. We utilized independent investigative techniques to verify his story, and it fully checked out.
What was the relationship? What were the intentions?
They met at LAX. Right. Thank you.
All right, the LAPD now giving information about the disappearance of Hannah Kobayashi. It was voluntary from their investigation. She is, as far as they can tell, alive and well and living in Mexico. She crossed over, as you just heard, on November 13th. Or November 12th at 12:13 in the afternoon, alone, in good health. And as far as they're concerned, although it's not closed because they need to actually contact her in order to close the case, the indications are that there is no crime that has been committed. She is neither a perpetrator nor a victim of any crime.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we have breaking news to tell you about in Torrance. Chris Christie is in Air 7 over at Chris.
Mamma mia. There you have it. She's not a victim of any kind of crime, and they're saying that's it. She went to Mexico, and I don't know. Yeah, why are we finding out now? 2 weeks later, almost 2 weeks later. She just hightailed it. Now I know she was estranged from her father, but I guess she feels. I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know. I guess she feels nothing about her father passing away and jumping off. It's so crazy to me for the dad. I feel like there's more to the story. Obviously, I feel like there's more to it. This guy jumps off a roof of a parking garage as a solution to his daughter's missing. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if there's like some dark history there. Something's just strange. The whole thing is just really odd. Maybe there's a reason she doesn't feel anything. I mean, I don't know if she feels anything or not, but I guess at the end of the day, she's an adult, and some people are not happy about that. As far as like, so there's people that said they donated money, and they want. Some people are talking about they want a refund. I want a refund for my shit. Some people are saying that they want a refund. This chick just upped and disappeared. I guess. I don't know. I saw the family page down. They have been notified of this press conference. Chaos, that makes a lot of sense. Probably, yeah, that's probably why they took down the Facebook page. I figured they got a hold of some new information. So, I don't know. I still think, honestly, I feel like she's selfish and entitled, little entitled brat, but I could be wrong. And there's nothing you can do. She's an adult. So, she wants to, disappear. And maybe she has her reasons. Maybe there's some type of trauma there. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason why. I don't know. And she hightailed it to Mexico. Good luck in Mexico. I don't know. Maybe she's still searching for the shaman guy. Her spiritual awakening. Damn, 500,000 raised in the GoFundMe. I forgot that's how much. Oh my God, 500,000. Yeah, some people said they want a refund. I want my money back. So I saw some people saying that. Crazy. Anyway, horrible situation because the father's dead. And I don't know, I guess she's starting a new life, a new identity. Well, the thing, too, that somebody, they were saying in the text group, they were saying that she follows an account on Instagram called SLNT. And it's some type of company that helps you. Let me see. The company that she follows on Insta, right? It's clothing that blocks your cell signal. So, SLNT.
OUMZDABBZ minus $4.99. So it's not African voodoo lol tears of joy. Glad she's okay thumbs up medium dark skin tone.
Thanks for the 5. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a company that makes these stuff, clothing or accessories that block cell signal. So, I don't know. All right. Well, I guess that's it for now. If there's a chase or something, I'll come back. I don't know. I don't know if are we gonna find out anything else about the story? Is there anything else that's gonna? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the end of the story, I guess. I don't know if we'll get an update at some point. Maybe she'll. I don't know. Tickle tits. Anyway, take care, guys. Peace. Bye.